All right, welcome to another episode of Inside Georgia High School Recruiting. We have a jam-packed show for you guys today, so I'm super excited. Omarion Wallace, he will join us in segment 2. Newton, outstanding athlete. We're going to get a chance to talk to him, obviously, in the studio. And we have some great interviews coming out with Ethan Hauser and much, much more. So you know what to do. Make sure you guys stay tuned the whole way through. But all right, we got to talk about the Georgia Bulldogs. They are cooking with fish grease right now. They are sizzling hot. I mean, on the recruiting trail, these guys are not playing any kind of games, man. We're going to go through the whole thing, but we're going to start with Zakai Helton as I make my way to the desk to take a seat, okay? Zakai Helton officially committed to the Georgia Bulldogs this past week, right? Now, Helton's obviously a standout recruit for the Carrollton Trojans. He's been a 3-star. Remember, guys, he has been rated ever since he's come in as a sophomore, and he's obviously a 3-year starter for the Carrollton Trojans, a team that made the state championship last year, right? And so this recruitment kind of came down to Alabama, Georgia, and Georgia Tech. So for the second consecutive time, we'll talk about the other recruitment here in a second, Georgia's able to outbeat, obviously, the Yellow Jackets. So Zakai Helton, what does he bring to the table? Really strong interior offensive lineman, can block well, really good feet. Also is very stout, uses his leverage well, and can get to the second level pretty quickly. Now, the other recruitment they also got this week was Zachary Lewis. Now, Zachary Lewis is from North Gwinnett, outstanding player, obviously, for them. He also took an official visit to the Yellow Jackets this past week as well, or a few weeks ago, I should say, and felt really good about the program. But Georgia, yet again, with the OV, did really, really well. We talked about that with Benjamin Walk earlier in the week, what they were able to do, right? Now, next up, Kamari Brooks, right? Can the Bulldogs outlast, obviously, Alabama? Now, remember, these two teams, they gave us a thriller last year, but Alabama was able to win. They're going to play again, obviously, September 27th. So that's going to be a great game, obviously, 7:30 at Sanford Stadium. And now it's come down to the commitment for Brooks, who is a state champion here in the Peach State, right? Now, for Brooks, what is he looking for here? Both of these programs can develop talent at a high level, right? We look at all the guys in the league. We look at the Smile Mundins of the world. We obviously look at the Roquan Smiths, so on and so forth. So Alabama has always produced linebackers at a high level as well. Obviously, a new era with Kalen DeBoer at the helm. But for Brooks, it really can't go wrong with either or, right? But if you're Georgia, you land another 4-star recruit. He's right down the street at Norfolk Coney from Athens. And he's telling him, hey, man, come on home. Join your teammate, Landon Rodon. Come build something special with this new class. So it's going to be interesting to see where he chooses. But obviously, Clemson was in the mix there for Brooks. But obviously, now he's down to the top 2, right? So we see, obviously, Zakai Helton committing. We talked about Zachary Lewis. And obviously, we just talked about the top 2 for one of the best, obviously, edge rushers here in the country, and Kamari Brooks, outstanding player for the Norfolk Coney Titans. All right, we got another big one for the Georgia Bulldogs. Let's go ahead and talk about this. Official visit season is here, as you guys know. The best linebacker, yes, I said best, linebacker in the country, best player, one of the best players in the country, Tyler Atkinson, will officially visit the Georgia Bulldogs this upcoming weekend. This is massive. This is huge because if you're Georgia, you're trying to beat teams like Oregon, Clemson, and things like that. So this is very important. Now, he had a dinner, obviously, with Glenn Schumann and company and the Georgia staff officially in May, but now he gets to see them kind of unveil the red carpet for him. Now, they've been and they've seen him in a numerous of camps, obviously, since he was young. Remember, guys, he started as a true freshman for the Grayson Rams. He's been an outstanding linebacker, Max Preps sophomore All-American, junior Max Preps All-American this past year, also junior defensive player of the year as well. So Tyler has all the accolades in the world. What this comes down to for Tyler is who is going to get me to that next level. Now, you can't go wrong with any of them, so let's break it down. Georgia, like I just said with the linebackers, we know what they've been able to produce, right? We look at Jalon Walker. He's likely going to get a lot of playing time early on, especially, for his football team, right? You look at, obviously, like I said, Roquan Smith, he's nearly 10-year linebacker. He keeps on the trend he's on, he could be a potential future Hall of Famer. When you look at Clemson, Clemson is very enticing because he can come in and play early on, right? When you look at Clemson, go look at Sammy Brown. Remember, y'all, Sammy was a 5-star too, right? Big Bro recently just committed. We just had it on the show as well. But Sammy was ACC Newcomer of the Year. So if you Tyler, you looking, they just started to hit the portal, right? Dabo was not really touching the portal at all. But now you see them starting to hit the portal, and you always see them develop guys, right? Let's go to a few examples here in Georgia. Khalil Barnes, right? Remember, he played obviously Norfolk Coney. He comes in and plays early, all right? Making an impact, making an effect, right? Avion Terrell is another player on the corner, played at Westlake High School here in Georgia. Now is considered one of the best cornerbacks in the nation, right? We just talked obviously about Sammy Brown. Barrett Carter is another one. NFL draft pick by my favorite team, the Bengals. So same kind of thing. We see what they've been able to develop. Now, Oregon, you obviously have Dan Lanning, phenomenal coach obviously here. Biggest snark on them is, can they win the big game, right? And when I say big game, I'm talking about college football playoff, quarterfinals, semifinals, however you want to say. But we know that he recruits at a high level. We know what he can bring in, the Naeem Alfords of the world, right? The Decorian Moores. We know what he can bring to the table. But and the thing with Oregon is he could probably go there and play early too. So it's a tough decision, right? And it kind of comes down to those schools. And I didn't forget about Ohio State. Ohio State is another one, right? Feel like they're more predicated on defensive back and obviously edge rusher, which obviously Tyler can do. He can play a little bit of edge rusher. But I think it comes down to where can he get developed the best and be able to make it obviously his dream goal, which is the NFL. And Georgia has shown year in, year out that they can do that. So it'll be interesting to see how this OV goes as they unveil the red carpet for him. If they can land him, that will only boost this class for Georgia that is winding down. They're getting a lot of recruits and a lot of guys coming in, and they have a solid commit as well. I will not reveal who that is, but through my sources, they have a solid commit already ready for the Bulldogs. Now, you guys will hear probably about that in a few weeks. Be interested to see what happens there. All right. Nonetheless, though, we're talking about Georgia. So the reason why I said they're cooking with fish grease and Kirby Smart, they got the commitments, right? Jordan Smith, he shut down his recruitment this past week. He's done. That's the outstanding Houston County safety. He's done. Justice Fitzpatrick, who recently committed to Georgia, he shut down his recruitment. He's done as well. And Brady Marchese, there was a lot of rumors about the Cartersville product. What will he do? He was actually getting predictions to land with Michigan and the Wolverines. I was like, well, what's going to happen there? And he shut down his recruitment as well. As soon as the rumor mill started to go, I felt like Georgia and their wide receiver coach, James Cooley, said, hey, Brady, we want you to stay. We need you to shut down your recruitment. Shuts it down. He's in as well. So when you look at what they're building and what they're doing, Georgia, yet again, having a top class. And you know, guys, the craziest stat, per 247 Sports, look at all the other college coaches. Kirby, since he's taken over, since 2016, he has 39 5-stars to his credit. I'll say that again, 39 5-stars to his credit. That is how you recruit at an elite level here in, obviously, not just the state of Georgia, but the country. So that is why you see Georgia year in, year out having a top class. They have a top class again. All Tyler would do with it is fortify, strengthen this class, man. So Georgia, they on fire. They are sizzling hot, and it's going to be interesting to see who's going to be able to outbeat them there. All right, so big official visit weekend. I know this is out of state, but the team to watch, too, is going to be Tennessee. They're obviously trending for a couple of prospects. We'll see what happens. Omarion Latimer is obviously with Wisconsin in terms of just visits. See what he'll do. He's predicted to land there. But Tennessee is going to have several big guys on campus. Omarion Latimer is a guy that they want to obviously get after. He is set to visit Georgia Tech. So that's going to be one thing to kind of watch out for this week. Not saying they will land him, but that is something interesting to also watch for. You're going to have Tristan Keys on the docket as well, who's an outstanding player from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and also Faison Brandon. So, guys, there you have it. That is officially, obviously, the intro to the show. And as you can see, guys, just to open it up, Georgia cooking with fish grease. Guys, coming up after the break, we'll have an exclusive interview with Omarion Wallace of the Newton Rams. Newton will be a team to watch this year. A lot of great athletes, really good quarterback, and a team that is hungry for more. Don't go anywhere. Come right back here on YouTube. Welcome back to the Inside Georgia High School Recruiting. I'm your host, Najeh Wilkins. We got a special guest in the building, 2027 athlete. We're not going to say wide receiver. We're not going to say DB. Athlete from the Newton Rams, Omarion Wallace in the building. Super excited to have him here. joined by me, man. Y'all had a great run yesterday. Y'all ended up winning the Georgia or the Brent Key Georgia Tech Corey Kell 7-on-7. Just talk about your performance yesterday.
I feel like our performance was good. Only thing I had to do, mostly on defense, we had to communicate. You know, we had to play as a team to get where we was to win the Georgia Tech champion. You know, we the champs now, so it's just like, like I said, we got to communicate. We got to do what we had to do to get the job done, to get where we was at yesterday.
Now, I was watching a couple of your clips from yesterday, and you were making plays on both sides of the ball, which is why I call you an athlete. You was coming up with big-time touchdowns, and you was deflecting the ball. So talk about kind of just your ability on the field to affect the game in both ways.
My ability is to, I had to do what I had to do. I had to get the job done. Like, knowing me, I had to go both ways. I know I had to have a lot of stamina to go back on defense and go to offense at the same time. So I just had to know what I had to do to go both ways.
For you, obviously, you've been playing this game for a long time. What do you think makes you probably the next athlete or next player that people need to talk more about?
I know, because for me, I know what I have to do. I have to train to know both sides of the ball, play, especially in college next level. I want to play DB and receiver, so I know what I have to do to get to that level, especially I know I have to train and, work out a lot to do what I do, get bigger, get stronger, be more athletic.
Tell me a little bit just about your training regimen. How often you in the weight room? How often you working out? And just different things you work on.
I be in the weight room and training 7 times a day. That's I just know I have to do that. So just to become a better person, I want to be the #1 ranked class 2027. As soon as this year, I want to be the #1. So I know what I have to do. I have to, put in that work ethic to become that player. So I know I have to be in the weight room at this certain time, come on the field this certain time, and just keep going. Know what I got to do.
100%. Now, obviously, you made the transition last year from Texas to here, obviously, as a freshman. Not this summer, but the summer before. Kind of how was that transition? How much different is Texas ball compared to Georgia in your eyes?
I wouldn't say the part I came from Texas was El Paso, so it was not a lot of comp. But as soon as I came here, it was better comp. I was starting to get more looked at, and yeah.
Okay, 100%, man. And then just want to ask, obviously, Coach Skelton, right? How important has he been to just a little bit to your development? You continue to go and you continue to get better.
Coach Skelton, he's a wonderful head coach. I don't know how much I could thank him, because he's the reason I'm in this position right now. I always go work out with him, work with him, train. He helps me train. So he's the reason I'm the person I am today.
100%. Now, obviously, your team has always had great players. We know the running backs that you got, Kevin Hartsfield. We obviously know about the great playmakers. But this team, you see them every day. You're in the weight room with them. What makes them different this year, you think?
They like to work. They willing to put in the work in to become a good player, So it's just like every day they in the weight room on time. So it's just like I love them guys. They know how to become a great player.
Yes, sir, certainly. And obviously, I want to ask just a little bit your inspiration behind playing, obviously, the sport of football. I mean, you got a great chain on. I know, obviously, that person, on the chain means a lot to you. Just what's your motivation? Why do you play football?
My why reason is my dad. Like, he passed away when I was young, so that took a big toll on me. And then my mom, we went through a lot. So it's like that motivates me. I keep that on the field. Like, every time the ball up in the air or anything, I got to, that's how I feed my family. So that's how I got to think every time I'm on the field.
Now, when you play, are you very aggressive? Are you hard-hitting? Are you good with ball skills? Which one do you think kind of stands out?
Everything. Well, mostly I think ball skills. I know how to go high point the ball when I need to.
100%. And then we was talking off air. I want to just ask this: who do you like to watch in terms of NFL and obviously college?
I'll say for college, I say Travis Hunter, because he played both sides of the ball. He know how to play both sides of the ball. So I feel like I look at him, because plus I play both sides of the ball. Now, NFL, I say Pat Surtain.
Okay, and obviously Surtain, he won Defensive Player of the Year. What makes him special? I mean, to you, obviously he's guarding against some of the best receivers in the world. Talked about Jamar Chase, several guys he has to go against, but he's never rattled at all. But for you, what makes him stand out?
I think his ball hawk. He a good ball hawk, and his footwork. He got pretty good footwork.
Okay, got you. Now, coming into this year, what are some things you want to accomplish on a personal level and as a team?
As personal, I want to get faster. That's one thing, because you got to go to the next level. You got to get faster. You got to have good footwork, good ball skills. As a team, I want to go to state. I want to win it. I can't leave high school without a state ring. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to, get better as myself so I can help my team to get to state.
100%. And then if you can, obviously you're training both sides. So let's go to kind of just athlete. Let's go to receiver, right? Mm-hmm. For you, what do you think it takes to be a good receiver and being able to get open? Is it agility? Do you think it's the separation? Do you think it's the ball tracking? What do you think it takes to be a good receiver?
I think agility, because you gotta have good releases either to get open, and I say ball hawk, because you gotta know how to point the ball when you need to. You gotta have good hands. So I feel like, yeah.
100%. All right, and I want you to talk a little bit about your quarterback. Quarterback had a great performance yesterday, man. I see you smiling a little bit. Slinging it. Talk about him a little bit.
Duran, I ain't gonna lie, he's a guy. I feel like Duran, he'll be a good person to go to the next level. I'll give him all his props. Yesterday, I feel like he carried us because he's the QB, obviously, so I feel like he carried us. He threw like at least 20-something touchdowns, probably more. He got a good arm. I see every time we come in every day to work out, he always there before everybody. Him, my other coach, he always want to grind. He's one of those guys to be there before everybody, to put in that extra work before we go lift. So yeah.
Along with yourself, Duran, who else should we look out for in this Newton Rams team this year?
I think Martez Jones, Brayden, Rome, D-Man. Let's see, who else? You know, I say the starting of the defense and the backups. I feel like we should look out for all them guys because they actually put in the work too every day.
100%. What does the rest of you guys' schedule look for the rest of the summer?
This Thursday we got UGA, and today we got a OTA against Howard High School.
Oh, okay, that'll be good. All right, and then, you know, for you, obviously talk about what you want to do personally. You want to get obviously faster, but what part of your game do you feel like you want to unlock? You want other people to see?
What part of my game I want everybody to see?
Yeah.
To be honest, I want everybody to see like how good I am, how like I wanted to progress. So I want everybody to know like I've been training, I've been working. So how many times I progress is how many times I want to see everybody know how I work. Mm-hmm. I just want to let everybody know that I've been working. So I wanted to show in the game too. So like I want everybody like, dang, like he works every day. You can just see how he progressing in the game.
100%. All right, I'm going to be a recruiter now in the trail. I've seen your film. I got a chance to see you. We want to give you an offer. What do you bring to my team? What makes you different from everybody else? What are you going to bring for my field, my team, my program on Saturdays?
I'm just willing to work. I'll do anything to take anybody's spot.
Simple as that.
Simple as that.
I love it. Love the short answer, man. So, obviously, you talked a little bit about your background, and I know you said, you know, it was a hard time, obviously, you and your mom. Mm-hmm. What does she mean to you?
That's my word. That's my everything. I do everything for her.
Simple as that, 100%. Now, obviously, going into the year, you talked about what you want to accomplish. So, give me, what do you think it's going to take for this Newton team? We've known past years they've been really good, just haven't quite got over the hump. You guys playing a tough region with Grayson. Mm-hmm. What do you think it's going to take to kind of just take down the behemoth, the Goliath?
I feel like all we got to do is just continue to attack the day. Every day we got to attack the day. We got to be great. We got to want to be great. Communication comes in too. You just got to be willing to work every day. As soon as you come in the weight room, attack. You got to attack the day every day. When we get on the field, attack the day. You got to be willing to want to be great every day. 100%.
All right, give me your favorite memory playing the sport of football.
My favorite memory is when I first stepped out on the field. And the coach was like, oh, yeah, he good. We want him. And then me just, ever since then, I just been a guy. Everybody always wanted me. I just always had a starting position because I've been willing to work to get there.
100%. Now, for you, does football come easy or do you have to put in extra work? I mean, I know you put in extra work, but do you feel like it's natural for you?
To me, yeah, I've just always been a freak athlete. So I feel like sometimes, or not all the time, but in the high school level, it's not going to come natural. You got to be willing to put in the work. But like middle school, it comes natural. But it depends who you are and how you progress to put in the work for you to get to that level.
Now, as a leader for you, I want to ask, obviously you got Newton teammates coming up, younger guys than you. Mm-hmm. What would you tell them in order to kind of be successful in what you've been able to accomplish so far?
I've been telling them you can't just come to high school and just think you could just get a starter position. Nah, it's not that easy. You got to be willing to work to get a starter position at Newton. Because at Newton, we don't just hand no positions out. You can't be no coach favorite. Even though if you are, it's no coach's favorite. So you got to be willing to work. As soon as you get there, you got to be willing to work to become a starter in whatever position you play.
Last question, we're going to wrap it up. What could we expect from Omarion Wallace this upcoming year and in the future?
Just expect me to play at the next level, you know. Just expect me to come out at least with I'm coming out at least 1,000 yards plus, like at least 10 touchdowns, at least 10 picks, breaking records.
Breaking records. Anybody else you want to shout out before we let you go, man?
Shout out to Coach Scout, shout out to Coach DJ Allman, Coach Kyle, shout out to everybody in the Newton football team.
There you have it, guys. Well, this is Omarion Wallace. As you know, on the show, we love to highlight and shine the light, obviously, on athletes, especially those that are underrated. I don't think Omarion Wallace will be underrated for much longer. It's be a name to know here in the state of Georgia. That's all I got for this segment. We'll see you in the next one. All right, welcome back to Inside Georgia High School Recruiting with Najeh Wilkins. Excited to bring on great guests on the show from Whitewater all the way out in Peachtree City, man, in Fayetteville. As Brayden Foster, man, he's participating in our Georgia League Classic. He's done some great things on the gridiron. What's going on, Brayden, though? How's everything going?
What's up? How are you? I'm good, going good. Just been in the summer grinding, so.
Yes, sir. I'm already knowing, man. You've been putting on, putting in a lot of work to obviously get to this point, man. And let's start back just 2024, man. I mean, you had a great season, 60 tackles, 10 sacks, 16 tackles for loss. I mean, what allowed you to break out this year, Brayden?
I would say going back to like this time now last year. So this time now last year, I really devoted myself again with my trainer, doing my extra workouts. Like we could do some workouts Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but then I go to a place in Peachtree City, Explosive Mechanics. Again there, that's a lot of my explosiveness comes from there, and then just really focusing in at practice. It's the little things that allows you to like have the breakout years. It's not like, I wouldn't say like it's like working on get-offs that had me. It was the little stuff like my hand placement, that kind of stuff. It's the small things that allowed me to have the year I had.
And then if you can, Brayden, just talk, obviously you mentioned about explosive mechanics, but you're doing extra work outside. You mentioned your strength and conditioning coach too off air, and also just you're going to do more training tonight as well after practice was over, 7:45 to 12. Just talk about all this work you're putting in and the extra training and reps.
Yes, sir. So like today at spring practice, we came in, lifted at 7:45. And then we did split squat with four like supersets, and then hang clean with 4 supersets. And then we went outside, did all our indie, our team periods, a little 7-on-7 inner squat. And then I'll go later to explosive mechanics, and I'll hit today's legs. So I'll do box squat, some hamstrings, that kind of things, like stuff that really translates to my explosive power on and off the field, like in terms of like 40 times, vertical jump, broad jump, all that kind of stuff. So.
100%. So you would say this offseason, obviously you talked about hand placement, the get off. So this offseason you're working more kind of on power.
Yes, sir. Okay. So last year I was really focused on honing in my technique, and being like the best technical player I can. And I feel like that's what shows on my tape is my hand placement on my pass rush moves on the run. I really focused in on that because I feel like that's like the good base to have is your technique. And then this year I just want to refine on that, but then become more explosive and have more speed out of all that, all those factors.
100%. And then I want to ask you, I got to know your name even more, just Georgia Elite Classic. You really popped off there. You were explosive, obviously. You know, in the practices, you did really good in the game. But what did a platform like that just do for you in terms of getting you more out there and exposure?
For sure. That's also great, not just in terms of exposure, but experience, meeting people, making connections. Like I know that's like one of the first interactions I had with you. And then also the level of competition. You know, every year, there's always great talent out there. Like I want to say this year, just we have a group chat and we're all really close still. And we were talking about how's like successful. Everybody that was there has been in their recruiting, and just the level of competition there is really great. You get to experience like really, really good players, and I feel like I grow really good in the 2 days of practice that we have there. 3 practices total normally, and I feel like that growth as a player just there with the different speed of game is a lot.
For sure. Now, let's just talk real quick about Whitewater before we get into your recruiting. Now, I just want to ask, you are obviously a leader. You're playing both ways, edge and also tight end. You also got KJ DeRizo, who recently committed to Michigan State. He's playing wide receiver and obviously safety or / cornerback. As the leaders, as both of you guys are most elite talents on the team, what's kind of your message to your group this year in order to accomplish what you want to accomplish?
I feel like our message right now is everybody's bought in. And now I feel like me and KJ, and as well as more leaders on the team, we got leadership council of about 12 guys, and we all work together really well. So our message was everybody just got to buy in and hone in on, like, winning games. You don't start winning games in the season. You win games in the summer. Like today, point of emphasis on our workout was just getting it all done and getting it done with, like, moving the bar fast. So the discipline to keep moving the bar fast, when you get tired with the 5-second eccentric, that wins games. That wins, you know what I mean? That wins halves of football. It's not, you don't win games in the season. So that's been our message, was just buying in early, buying in during the summer, and it's going to pay off in the season. So
100%. All right, so we know it is a big official visit, obviously going on, official visit season going on currently right now, Brayden. So where does your recruitment currently stand? What's going on? What's some top contenders for you?
So right now, some top contenders, like schools that have recently, like, I've been trying to keep it open. Like, I want to have like a good point of view on all schools. So Lehigh's been heavy on me. Campbell, Georgetown, SEMO, Bryant, and Yale. So yeah, there's me at Bryant. But you know, they're just building the relationships with the coaches is very important to me. Like, I want to go to a place that I feel like I fit the coaching staff, I fit the players around me, and I feel like a place where I'm really like. People say it all the time, but it's not just saying it on Instagram, but home, like somewhere where I feel like I'm comfortable and I can thrive as a player as well as a person. So
for sure. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, you have an official visit coming up this weekend, obviously, to Lehigh. That is correct?
Yes, sir.
What are you just most looking forward to? What are some boxes you want them just to check when you go?
I'm looking for like the family dynamic kind of thing, like how the coaches all interact together, as well as like the academic side of it. But really importantly, the family dynamic, and then as well, like how they could see me coming in and they're playing for me, like how they see me growing as a player at Lehigh and that kind of stuff.
Got you. Now, obviously, I know after Lehigh, I didn't see anything scheduled. I know you say you're keeping your recruitment open. Will you say any OVs to Bryant or Campbell?
Yes,
or
sir.
even Georgetown?
Yes, sir. I have dates from Campbell and Bryant right now, and I believe I'll be going not on OV because I don't think you do OVs in July, but I'll be going to Campbell in July, and then I'm working on getting dates from Bryant. So.
Okay, 100%, man. And then, obviously, I didn't get a chance to see you in the spring, but I know what you've been working on most, obviously, as the summer kind of starts. But just what was your overall assessment of just how the spring went for you?
I feel like it was good. I feel like I grew as a player in the little time I had in the spring. Mainly as a leader, though. I feel like last year as a junior, I felt like I was in a role where I was kind of a leader, but like I could definitely grow at it. Like last year, I felt like I led more by example. Being younger, I wasn't a big vocal guy, but this spring, I felt like I grew as a vocal leader. I have more confidence, like keeping my teammates accountable. But as well as that, I got to make sure I keep myself accountable, and because a leader can't be a leader if he's not doing the right thing himself. So.
That's very true. And as you talked about the leadership a little earlier, so are you leading more vocally or are you leading by example? Like, how do you go about that?
I feel like junior year, I was more example, but this year I'm trying to be – everybody leads differently, but I feel like I can do both. Like, I'm not the biggest yeller or, like, big, like, loud guy on the field unless it's, like – unless we barking or something. But, I feel like this spring I did a good job of becoming more vocal. Holding people accountable, like pulling my teammates aside, coaching them up, because we got a lot of young guys in the defensive end room, and I feel like I did a good job I feel like I helped them get a little better this spring. So,
100%. Appreciate you doing that. And then, as we kind of close, a few more questions, just how important for you are just relationship? We talked about the family aspect, talking about feeling like home, obviously recruitment, but how important is the relationship with the defensive line coach or the edge coach, linebacker coach, obviously at these schools that are recruiting you?
One thing that's a little bit different about my recruitment is, except for like one school, really, I'm getting recruited more as a bandit. So I've never played that before. So that's a big thing for me is the relationship with the coaches. And that stands out a lot to me, too, is for the coach to have the trust in me, not even see me play bandit before, to be able to come in and have the opportunity to play that position, which is pretty exciting. So building that relationship with the coach, learning about, his family, where he came from, like, what he sees in me, and then like knowing his coaching style and all that kind of stuff is a big factor.
Now let me have you break that down a little bit, Brayden. Just a bandit. I know what it is. I follow sport very heavy, but for those at home that don't know, explain what a bandit is in terms of defensive line.
So right now, like in the game of football, a lot of schools are running 3-4, and so the bandit is the boundary side backer. So most of that time that'll be like early first, second down, maybe dropping in the curl flat. Some run support stuff, but third down, where I thrive, I say my game is the pass rush. So that's where I'd get to come down, walk down, or come from deep and do my thing on the tackles. So.
Okay, great explanation. And last thing before we let you go, man, just for those out there that are recruiting you, what's the message you want to tell them? Who is Brayden Foster? Why would you be an asset to the program that you're going to go to?
Yes, sir. I say the biggest thing I bring to the program is my leadership, but also my motor. I'm going to work harder than anybody else, and I feel like I wasn't early recruited. I didn't get no offers in 8th grade. I mean, I feel like my recruitment is started late compared to a lot of kids in my grade, but I feel like I worked for everything I got and nothing was handed me. So I feel like I'm going to work harder. I'm going to be the hardest working guy in the program. I'm going to hold everybody accountable. So.
Last thing, obviously your story is different than everybody else. You talked about the recruitment being late. What would you tell others? So many of these kids, I know you can relate to this, Brayden, just seeing them, they get caught up in the cloud, they get caught up in the offers, but you didn't. You kept putting your head down and working. So what would you tell them, just a freshman coming into high school at Whitewater, what he needs to do?
For sure, just trusting God. Like His plans are always bigger than yours, or it might not be the same. Everybody's higher power is different. Everybody's got different religions, but just trusting the plan. Like keep your head down, keep working. Not everything. Like everybody's different. Like you said, kids get offered in 8th grade. I know people that had offers like in 8th grade, 9th grade, but just keep working. You can never be good enough. There's always something you can be improving on, and don't get caught up. I personally would stay off Twitter. I tried to stay off. Like, I wasn't even on there. Like, especially like, I was like, nah, can't do it. But because like everybody, I mean, you're gonna always try to compare yourself, and comparison kills. So that's one thing I live by, is just comparison kills. So don't compare yourself to others. Just be you. So.
100%. Well, Brayden, I want to say thanks so much, brother, for coming on. Appreciate you obviously coming on from my show.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, man. Keep working and keep going, man. Got to have you back on sometime soon.
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, guys, this is old Brayden Foster. Coming up after the break, we'll have another great segment coming up, so don't go anywhere. Come right back here on the YouTube. Welcome back to Inside Georgia High School Recruiting. I'm your host, Najeh Wilkins. We have a great guest on the show for today, Ethan Hauser of Buford Wolves. Can't wait to talk to him about his recruitment, some of his spring visits, what he has coming up this summer, and obviously preparing for the fall for this year. So without further ado, let's go ahead and welcome on. What's going on, my guy?
How you doing?
I'm great, brother. How's your day been going?
My day's been really smooth. We had practice this morning, the team coming together, everybody doing great. Just taking it day by day. The coach has been doing a great job, just keeping us disciplined, humble, building a great foundation. And we definitely got, an idea of what we're heading into this year. And we definitely got a standard to uphold. So we're just looking forward to doing that.
Speaking of that, let's start there, Ethan. Just talk a little bit about the Buford standard a little bit. We know you guys are a powerhouse here in Georgia. You play some of the best teams in the country. You're always featured on major networks and things like that. What is that Buford standard? Why are you guys good every single year?
I mean, the standard, the coaches do a great job every year. Like I said, keeping us humble and disciplined, just building on the brotherhood that we have at Buford. Historically, Buford is a winning program, and, we just got to keep building on that, keep carrying on that legacy of, the past players that have played there that has built that legacy because, we want to be a part of that. And, like I said, just to piggyback off what I just recently said, the coaches have just been doing a great job instilling us in, Christ, each other, brotherhood, and it's all been coming together and definitely been developing on the field as far as leadership and everything like that.
Now, Ethan, I want to ask you, we know you obviously are outstanding DB, but when we look at a lot of these recruiting profiles, we're seeing you listed as an athlete. You look at 247 Sports, you look at obviously On 3. So can we potentially see you play this year both ways?
Yes, sir. I've been getting put into the scheme on both sides, offense and defense, but, we're just taking it day by day and, just seeing how I can make an impact and help my team.
Now, for you, obviously talked about the impact. We know another player that does the same thing, Tyree Green. What were some things you maybe learned from him early on last year? I know you were very young, but you got the chance to kind of see him do the same thing that you aspire to do. What were some pointers he kind of gave you?
Yes, sir. Ty's a great, just brother and leader to have by my side. With me being young last year, when he would come off the field, I would just ask him questions such as how they looking out there, what's the speed of the game, and things like that. And he would always just break it down for me, tell me little pointers and cheats to, just make a play on the field. And then when I would go out there, it would just pay off. So Ty's definitely a good person to have by your side. And I definitely can't wait to see what he would do this year and the impact he's going to have on the team as well.
For sure. Now, let's talk real quick a little bit about spring. Kind of how did that go for you? What were some things you worked on the most? And just as an evaluation, I know you're always getting better, Ethan, but what are you working on the most to kind of fine-tune and kind of perfect your craft?
I'm constantly working every day, whether that's lifting, running, things like that. Just instilling myself in the word, leadership, checking on my brothers. Spring went really good, not only individually, but as a team. We bonded, got closer. We did things outside of football, whether that's just like, just spending time together, going to the pool, hanging out, working out outside the field. And it definitely paid off on the field with just being comfortable and trusting those around you. And it led to a great spring. We didn't have a spring game the game got canceled against Creekside, but we had an inter squad scrimmage, and just we took care of each other, but we definitely got after it, and we definitely put a lot going into the summer workouts, and it's been paying off for sure.
100%. Now let's talk just a little bit about recruiting, Ethan. You're blowing up. You obviously just got an offer from Liberty, but let's go through kind of your spring visit tour a little bit, right? You visited teams like Florida, Auburn, Georgia Tech, and also Tennessee. So let's start with Florida. What did you like about that UV?
Florida, they just recently got a new safety coach and Coach Sinceri, and it was my first time meeting him. So he definitely gave me a warm welcome. Very much hospitality. Coach Napier always makes me feel welcome back. I enjoy watching the spring practice. It's hot out there in Florida, but the practice was definitely worth it. The players was getting after it, like us, taking care of each other, but just getting after it, and it was definitely a good experience.
Is the swamp like how they describe it?
That swamp is definitely a good description. It's sticky and hot out there for sure.
100%. What about Auburn?
Auburn's great. Coach Crime, Coach Rushing always, just show hospitality. Auburn loved me up there, so definitely just like building that relationship with them. I know some of the players on the team like Cam Coleman, Eric Singleton, so just going up, seeing my guys is always a good thing, and then, just Auburn itself is a great place.
Now, not too far away from home is Georgia Tech. I think, about 50 minutes to an hour?
Yes, sir, like 45 to an hour.
45 to an hour. Talk about Tech a little bit.
Coach Q and Coach Peoples, that was actually my third offer. So they got on me when I was a lot younger. They always show great hospitality. I actually grew up with Coach Peoples' son, CJ, and we played at park ball together a few years at Archer. And just Georgia Tech always shows hospitality, like every other school. Just making me feel welcome, my family feel welcome, and it's always a great experience going to Georgia Tech. Just seeing the guys get after it, especially being close to home, just seeing the city and things like that.
For sure. And then last but not least, let's talk a little bit about Tennessee. Obviously, you got a teammate out there, Justin Baker, who's a running back.
Sure.
Talk a little bit about that.
Going up to Tennessee was definitely great. I definitely look forward to seeing Justin Baker and Jaden Perlotti, because that was my first time seeing my guys since, the season. Coach Martinez, Coach Banks, Coach Inns always make me feel welcome. This was my second time back at Tennessee. It was just very much hospitality. And the spring practice as well as the spring game was really great. I got to take time and talk to Justin Baker and Jaden after the game, as well as Ty Redmond of Milton, just guys I came up with, trained with, played with. So it was definitely like a great experience seeing just them leveling up. Baker getting touchdowns, first downs, Ty getting pass breakups, and I definitely enjoyed seeing my guys win.
Yeah, I can see the smile, man. You're grinning, man, so you must have definitely enjoyed your time. Now, let me ask this. Who stood out the most to you in spring? You obviously mentioned your guys, but it's a guy that kind of like really caught your eye.
Justin Baker definitely surprised me. Going there, I expected him to be in the rotation, and then that spring game, he popped out with the first group, popped it off with a great first down, just getting positive yards, lowering his shoulder, doing the same thing, he used to do to us at practice, which only made us better. As you know, iron sharpens iron. But seeing him do on the collegiate level before the season even starts against some of the best definitely brought a smile to my face. Just seeing, this my boy, and he's doing his thing. Like, just seeing myself doing the same on that level in a few years.
For sure. And then obviously going back to you, you guys recently participated at Georgia. I know it was some lightning strikes and things like that, so it got canceled early. But just how fun of an experience was that to just go compete, obviously, with one of the best programs, in the country?
Yes, sir. It was a great experience. We split the teams up, just competed at practice a little bit, just talk trash to each other, things like that, just to get prepared. And then at UGA, we just did what we did, came together as a team, made plays, offense and defense, just balled out. And, unfortunately, we didn't get to finish the tournament, but, the chips fell where they did. And, we were on a good track.
100%. Now, let's talk real quick, Ethan, just about what's next for Buford. I know you guys got some paddock camps and things like that coming up, but what's kind of next? How is your guys' summer schedule kind of look?
Outside of paddock camps, we have a thing every year called Camp Buford, where we'll just spend a few nights after school, just bond together, play some basketball. Last year when we had it, NCAA came out, so we had a little team tournament. And then that's like we might have 2 days during Camp Buford, or we'll have a patty camp or things like that. So it's still football, but it's definitely just a lot of bonding, just spending time, eating meals, fellowship, discipleship, things like that. And, we'll just take all the phones, we'll be disconnected 3 days, just spending the night at the school and just, just get closer.
All right, now you mentioned the NCAA tournament. Did you win?
So we have like battalions as in groups, and we'll do like a little battalion draft,
okay.
And each person will have a different like category. So I did dodgeball for my team, and we lost in the championship. You know, we got cheated. You know, I like to say we got cheated, but NCAA, I think we did win. My Italian did win the NCAA tournament, so we definitely got some push for that.
Who your favorite team to use?
And NCAA,
Yeah.
I mean, it really don't matter what team I use, to be honest, but I always use Missouri's playbook because it just has a lot of just open things, and I like to spread it out. A lot of trick plays in there that I like to run, just pick on my opponent a little bit.
Got you. All right, man. So we talk about NCAA. So I got to ask you about the big one. I have not talked to any Buford players, but it's a big game coming up week 1. Now, I know you got to go through the preparation, but just honestly, just your thoughts on that game. I mean, Ethan, it's a great chance for you. You already know. You obviously a ranked prospect, but to be on that platform, we've seen what ESPN's been able to do for a lot of kids, especially getting that early start. We've seen it a few years ago, obviously with Langston Hughes going up against Carrollton. How excited are you to just be on that platform and that stage and just show the whole world your talent?
Man, I'm definitely excited. It's a true blessing, just kind of my official debut game in a new stadium to be on ESPN against a nationally ranked Milton. We're definitely going in there not underestimating them because we know the team that they are, but we also know the team that we are. Just trusting God on the process, trusting each other, going in there just to handle business and just make it a great game. But also we going in there to dominate. We're going in there confident and ready to compete.
Now give me a 30-second answer before I let you go. Goals for 2025 for Ethan Hauser.
My goals, I want to lead the state of Georgia in interceptions as well as touchdowns. I want to be the defensive player, MVP of Georgia, GHSA. And, I just want to continue to grow as a team. Obviously, the ultimate goal as a team to make it a state. And it's a journey, but we definitely have the guys and the coaching and everything, the brotherhood and fellowship to do so. And I definitely think we can get it done.
100%. Well, Ethan, that's all the time we got, brother. I appreciate you coming on, updating a little bit of your recruitment, talking about the goals for this year, and obviously the Buford Wolves. Can't wait to catch y'all boys in action, obviously, on week 1 on ESPN. Appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir, man. Anytime. There goes Ethan Hauser of Buford. Hey, man, like I said before, guy to watch. He is that dude. Everybody will see why on week 1 on ESPN. We'll be back with more after the break. Welcome to Inside Georgia High School Recruiting. I'm your host, Najeh Wilkins. We have another special segment for you guys coming up. We're going to talk to Harrison's outstanding wide receiver, Donovan Martin. Can't wait to talk to him. Obviously, Harrison having a great year, 9-2. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring him on. What's going on, man?
What's up?
What's going on? How's your day been?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
It's been good, man. I appreciate you coming on the show. I can't complain, man. Excited to have you on. And I just want to highlight you, man. I know you've been doing some great work, obviously competing and battling at a high level, man. So just want to highlight your talent today.
What's it called? Been pretty good and everything. Just have 7-on-7 from KSU today and whatnot. And we did pretty good. We went second place. We lost to I forgot the name. It starts with an M, McIntosh, by like 1-2 points. So
okay, and obviously you guys did well in tournament. So just talk about obviously going through these 7-on-7, some of these camps that you've been at. Just how it's been able to just kind of help your game.
It helped me a lot. It helped me some drills at camps. They helped me do a lot of stuff. Like for instance, we have work on my breaks and releases and at camps. It helped me improve my game, and I also did it do it at my house, in my backyard, and everything. So,
for sure. And then you recently participated in Prep Red Zones, obviously Camp in Barry. Just how were those camps for you? Just talk about kind of your experience with those.
Oh, it was pretty good. My Prep Red Zone, I did like a 10-foot broad jump. What's it called? I had 6'5" wingspan, 10.5-inch hands. And then, Barry Red Zone. I mean, not Barry Red Zone. Barry Elite Camp. I ran 4.52. Then there, And then, but yeah, it helped me improve my game. Helped me a lot. Talk to a lot of coaches, too, after those camps.
When you talk to some of these coaches, what are some things that they like about your game that they've kind of told you, like, hey, Dom, we like this, you can do this well, and then what are some pointers they've given you too?
They like to they like how I catch the ball. I don't let the ball come to my body. I extend my hands out, and so they like that a lot. But they also said to help my game a lot is like how to get my depth in my routes. That's what, so like for instance, I can run like a 10-yard stop, but then I'll make my break at like 8. So like that's one thing they told me to get better at, and I've been in the offseason, I've been getting better at it a lot.
Yeah, for sure. If you don't mind, I want to pick your brain a little bit on that. You talked about just the depth and stopping your route at 8 inches, or obviously eight yards down the field. Have you noticed like that helps get more separation against the corners?
Yes, sir. Because if I get to 10 yards, then they will think I'm still running the fade. And then when I run at 8, they going to bite on the ball early. So, because that attacks their blind spot more.
Got you. Now, I want to ask, obviously, this past season, you tore it up on the gridiron, right? You had 7 touchdowns, 600-plus yards receiving, nearly 30 catches. Just this past year playing with Harrison, how much fun was that? And how was you able just to kind of just shine so bright with the Hoyas this year?
It was pretty fun. It was a lot of fun, actually. I had a great connection with the seniors, the class 25, and I would like spend time with them like every day, and yeah, it was just a great connection with them, and then that's how I shine with them.
For sure.
That's how
Yes, sir. And then let's talk real quick about spring a little bit, Donovan. Obviously, you guys went up against North Cobb. You know, expected to be a contender in 6A. You did your thing yet again. Obviously, coming down with a touchdown, you completely burned the defender, obviously on that post route. Just talk about that route a little bit and just your play in that game.
My play in that game was a big need in that. For instance, like when I ran that post, I think some people on the team would have for sure be able to get that touchdown. But like for instance, like I just know how to run a post, so it's just I just got a touchdown and ran by him. And then also like on the blocking side too, I had some clips of blocking. I didn't post it on Twitter. I should have, but yeah, I had some good blocking in that game and helped my team get first downs in order to get touchdowns. So, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right. And then, you know, I just want to ask just a little bit about, obviously, you know, game back last year. Archer, you absolutely go off. It's a playoff game, high scoring. You go off for 6 catches, 150-plus yards, and 2 touchdowns. Can you talk a little about that game? Did you feel a different zone when you was coming in the building? Was it a pregame meal? Was it a pregame song? Like, what allowed you just to pop off like that?
I just kept saying like our defense, because on both sides, their defense and our defense didn't get a stop. So it was like it was just a battle, and whoever just got the last laugh or anything like that, it was just they was gonna win. So I was just trying my best to, like, even though I was tired most of that game, I was just trying to get my 100% every time, and then you know, I just got 6 catches and 150-plus touchdowns, and 150-plus yards and 2 touchdowns. So I just saw my team that we just needed something, and I just said, let me do it, and I just did it.
For sure. Now, I was talking about being fatigued in a game like that, but, I mean, in your eyes, I've never been in a high-scoring, you know, affair when I play football, but what is that like? I mean, you trading blow for blow. Is that exciting for you, or is it like, man, this is taxing as well? Like what's the feeling as an athlete? Just walk me through the athlete's shoes of being in a high-scoring game.
I would say like a little bit of both, because you're ready to go back out there and score for your team again, but then like on the other side, like, dang, we need to get stopped. But for sure but it's leading to more on the fun side, because it's like it's just a great game and great competitive game, and people love that. So it was just pretty fun.
For sure. Now, let me ask you this. I want to highlight an underrated part of your game, Donovan, that you do well, that a lot of people don't take notice of, whether it's blocking, whether it's, you know, getting depth at your routes. What part of your game do you feel like is most underrated that college coaches need to know about?
I'll say like my release off the ball, because for instance, like in man, sometimes like in my film, I had like ran a go route, and then I just did like an inside split, like a split release to the inside shoulder. And then, like, I just ran past him at, like, 10 yards, 15 yards separation.
What is the key in your eyes? You train a lot. You train in your backyard. I'm sure you're training with guys. What's the key to having a ultra, just, like, concise release where you can cook defenders?
I'll say the split. There's so many variations with the split. So with split release, you can just it's like a fast release. So a split or a speed release, but with a speed release, you just run past them, and then, like, because there's a lot of patient DBs out there, so if you just run past them, they don't know what to expect. And then with a speed release, you can just get off the ball quick, and then like they wouldn't know what happened, and then yeah, there's a lot of variations with those two releases. So if you have those two in your toolbox, then you be straight.
Got you, man. Now let's talk a little bit about obviously some recruiting shows. So let's talk about the latest with your recruitment. What's kind of going on there? What schools have been showing interest in you, and what's the latest? What you got coming up?
Some schools have been showing interest. UNC Charlotte, some Ivy League schools like Cornell, Princeton, Yale. But those two mainly like they've been talking to me. But like some that like talked to me before was like some P4 schools like Syracuse, West Virginia, Georgia, Wake Forest. It's a lot, but that talked to me, but who mainly recruiting me is UNC Charlotte, like Cornell and Princeton.
Got you. Now you got obviously a visit/camp coming up. How excited are you to get obviously down to UNC Charlotte? And is this the first time going out there?
No, sir. I've been there back in junior day. It was back in April. Yes, sir. It was back in April for their junior day, and then I'm pretty excited to go back because they said when I get down there they're gonna like show me around and yeah, it's gonna be pretty exciting.
As we wrap up, obviously, the show for today, what are some key parameters you're looking for? I know you really like UNC Charlotte. You can't wait to kind of just get an inside look at how everything goes. But what are going to be some key factors for you in determining your next school?
Whoever shows like interest a lot to me. Because if you just go to a school without showing interest to you, you're not going to be able to perform as what you want, and they won't show you as much love.
Last question. What are your goals for 2025, my man?
My goals is, this is what my saying is like, ball down, ball out this year. I just want to dominate on the field and always keep my trust in God.
100%. Obviously, now your mom helped put it together this interview. Anybody you want to shout out?
Yeah, I'll shout out to my quarterback, our receivers, my team, my QB, Aiden Watson. Cheers, Matthew Trafster, DJ Huggins, and then my mom, and my dad.
100%. Well, my God, I appreciate you. Go ahead.
And my trainer.
What's your trainer name?
Coach Ken.
Coach Ken, trainer for outstanding Harrison wide receiver Donovan Martin. Brother, I appreciate you coming on, man. Sharing a little bit about your story, obviously your training, and everything that you've been accomplished on the gridiron.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, guys, there he goes. Donovan Martin, appreciate him coming on the platform, on the show, to talk this latest about his recruitment and everything he's been working on. Guys, this will conclude the show for today. We will catch you guys next week for another episode of Inside Georgia High School Recruiter with Najeh Wilkins.